If you think you can, and if you think you can't, you are right. 7 billion people are connected for the first time when they are not just a consumer of information, they become the producer of ideas. What is it a person, a child who can solve some of the most complex problems in a video game struggles with the basic thing? It is not that the child is dumb, it's not the teachers are dumb. It is the way we are teaching is wrong. The heroes of the world really are the people who go out and take these ideas and implement them. And these heroes, we call them entrepreneurs. And these are the people who are going to go out and find the greatest solutions to every problem out there. Imagine a world where there is abundance of everything. We fight wars around clean water, education, and everything that we feel that somehow are scarce in the world. What if we can create more of everything that we want rather than just use less of what we have? That is the world we all have a power to create. So how do we do that? And I'm a firm believer that there is nothing that we can't do if we go out and use innovation and entrepreneurship. So let's go and define what is innovation. Innovation is not invention. Innovation is all about making things better. Doing the same things but a different way with a better outcome. In some sense, it is a meaningful difference, not just a bit better sameness. That means we can go out there and do things in a way that has never been done before. And that's where the entrepreneurship comes about. An entrepreneur is not someone who necessarily starts a company, but entrepreneurship is really a mindset, how you think about a problem. 99% of the time, the answer lies in the way you define the problem. If you define the problem the wrong way, you will always get the wrong answer. So think about it. If you were to go out and say, education system is broken, the right answer would be, let's go out and fix it. But guess what? That is really not the problem, because education system is doing exactly what it's designed to do. The problem is education system has become obsolete. And when something becomes obsolete, we have to go back and redesign it. Now here, you are at the Woxsen School of Business because we are going to be redesigning and redefining and making the education system that's designed for the 21st century, not based on how education was done in the 20th century. So what is wrong with the current education system? Why it has become obsolete? With the exponential technologies, everything that we learn becomes obsolete in the next 5 to 10 years. In fact, 50% of the jobs that exist today did not exist 25 years ago. Whatever skills you may have learned, it's becoming obsolete faster than ever. As the technologies are becoming not only exponentially growing, they are in fact exponentially also exponential. That means every 5 to 10 years, everything that you have learned becomes obsolete. In these times, what would the education system be? It's all about learning to learn and using the interdisciplinary approach to solve a problem. It is not about just going online that will somehow solve the problem. It is always going to be a mixture of how do we bring people together and at the same time allow them to learn at their own pace. What does it really mean? What it means is that a teacher should not be there simply to deliver the information, but teachers should be there to facilitate the discussion, to solve the problem and complement each other, having a group discussion to solve a specific problem. Everything that we find scarce can be solved through innovation and entrepreneurship. We talked about a little bit about education. What about the healthcare? In fact, today the technology exists where a teenager can go out and find a solution for a cancer. A teenager can go out and find the diagnostic for some of the things that have never been done even by the scientists. A 16-year-old girl can develop a battery that can be charged in 30 seconds. And sometimes you wonder what other people at the largest cell phone companies are doing. When you have the people out there where a 16-year-old kid is going out and actually finding a diagnostic for ovarian cancer or a lung cancer, you wonder why are we spending billions of dollars with the pharmaceutical companies? What is happening here? What's happening is the knowledge is there. It's all about how these people are going out there and using this knowledge and applying that knowledge to go out and do something about it. There is no problem that you and I, if we put our mind to it, can't be solved. In fact, it's easy to make $1 billion. All you have to do is solve a $10 billion problem. What are these $10 billion problems? These are the problems that are the social problems. Things about energy, the clean water. And you wonder, are these problems really insolvable? Why they have not been solved? Because it has always been thought of as a social problem. If you think from an entrepreneurial perspective, this is a big market. And there is plenty of technology that actually exists to be able to do exactly that. In fact, there is no reason we can't create a synthetic bacteria that's going to be able to convert a salt water and taking the carbon dioxide from atmosphere and using the photosynthesis to convert a salt water into a fossil fuel. In fact, if you worry about the shortage of food, imagine having a factory where they're using the stem cell to create beef. That means you can have a biofactories without ever having to raise a single cattle. As you probably know, the cattle are the biggest damage to the environment through their methane. If you were to just imagine a world where we don't have to kill a single animal to be able to eat what we enjoy eating. Let me give you a little bit of a story about myself. I grew up in India. In fact, when I was growing up, there were times we didn't have food to eat. But that did not discourage any one of us to be able to realize a dream. My mom was illiterate, but didn't stop her from making sure that I got the best possible education. I came to this country 30 years ago with $5 in my pocket and a dream of making a difference. Today, I sit here and I imagine things, what it could be like when I was in India. And I still remember as a boy looking at the moon. Wouldn't that be fun for someone to be able to go land on the moon and everyone to be able to land on the moon, not just the privileged few. And today I'm sitting here, or in fact talking to you as a founder of Moon Express, that in 2 years we're going to be landing on the moon as a private company. So imagine a boy who was starving can go out to the moon, what you can do. There is nothing that's impossible for you to be able to do. Put your mind to it and use the innovation and always think like an entrepreneur and see what is possible. So I'm going to give you a little bit about thoughts about how does an entrepreneur actually think. Entrepreneur thinks about what are the biggest problems and how those problems can be thought differently and what solutions can be applied in terms of making things better. Humanity can only get better when each one of us goes out and focuses on what is it that we can do to make the world a better place for all of us. It is not for us to simply focus on leaving the better country for our children. We also have to focus on leaving the better children for our country. Education system is ripe for disruption, and I'm so glad the Woxsen School of Business is right there to be able to disrupt what is currently being thought of how education should be done. We should all be proud of, in this time and age, we are no longer going to be providing education that was designed for the 20th century. Here we have a business school that's going to be creating leaders that are going to be leading the largest corporations for the 21st century and beyond.